Hello everybody, I hope you are fine. This is Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre, the character of Bertha Mason. Actually, the character of Bertha Mason is one of the famous or popular characters, not only in Jane Eyre as a text, but in English Victorian literature. Bertha Mason perhaps is the most character, the most central character for critics because she attracted a large number of critics to approach her character from various perspectives. Particularly the feminist perspective and the post-colonial perspective. Today you are going to discuss in brief the character of Bertha Mason, or the Mad Woman in the Attic. Bertha Mason is known as being the crazy woman in Jane Eyre's the novel. The Mad Woman in the Attic in the terms of Gilbert and Cooper. Who are Gilbert and Cooper? They are two feminist critics who wrote in the second half of the 20th century. Their writings are mainly feminist. They called Bertha Mason the Mad Woman because she is crazy in the attic, which means the isolated or deserted part of the house, because Bertha is locked or imprisoned in the third story or the third floor of the house. Of course, you know that she is the wife of Edward Rochester, the male protagonist of the novel. Bertha Mason is not English character by origin. She is a Creole Caribbean heiress, which means that she was a rich woman who lives in the Caribbean islands. Creole means that she is of a mixed origin or hybrid origin, um, which means that her grandparents are European immigrants. After her marriage to Rochester, she is locked in the third floor or the third story alone under the guardianship of Grace Poole. She is the one who gives an eerie laughter from time to time or every now and then in the novel, and this eerie laughter contributes to the Gothic tradition in the novel because it's this laughter that causes Jane's terror during her stay in Thornfield Hall. Similarly, she is the one who steps and injures a visitor who is discovered later on to be her brother Richard Mason. Again, this contributes to the Gothic tradition or the Gothic characteristics of the novel because she stabs him and injured him very violently. There was a very painful and very high scream or successive screams by Richard. The matter at the beginning was inexplicable or not understood. Also, she is the one who sets fire in Rochester's bed hangings. المعلقات اللي حوالين سرير روشستر عشان So this contributes again to the Gothic tradition. Eventually she is the one who tears مزقت أو قطعت Jane's bridal veil طرحة الزفاف before the wedding so that Bertha Mason's initial role is that she is responsible for a great deal of the Gothic elements of the novel. Um, Bertha Mason's has a complex presence in Jane Eyre as a text, um, which means we are bewildered. We as readers, we cannot judge her character either as a victim or a victimizer. We cannot determine whether to sympathize with her or with Jane Eyre. Bertha Mason is the one who impedes يعني أعاقت Jane's happiness because Jane's marriage ceremony is stopped when it's discovered that Rochester is married from Bertha Mason. But she also catalyzes the growth of Jane's self-understanding. She is the catalyst العامل المساعد أو الحفاز which brings about Jane's maturity. The mystery laws surrounding Bertha establishes suspense يعني كانت شخصيتها مليئة بالإثارة أو التشويق and terror at the same time والرعب to the plot and the atmosphere. Further, Bertha serves as a remnant and reminder of Rochester useful libertinism الشهوانية بتاعته والفسق بتاعه اللي من أيام الشباب. Yet Bertha can also be interpreted as a symbol. Um, she is a symbol of the trapped Victorian woman. يعني الست اللي عايشة في فخ. According to this interpretation, this is of course the feminist interpretation. Feminist critics compare the Victorian woman into some a bird or animal imprisoned in a cage or fell in a trap واقع في فخ. The Victorian wife is always imprisoned in the domestic sphere, دايرة المنزل. She is not expected to travel or to work outside the house and becomes ever frenzied and she finds no outlet. يعني they explain that the reason of her frenzy or madness is that her psychological suppression الكبت اللي هي عايشة فيه بسبب قعدها الدائم في البيت وقلة خروجها so that she cannot find an outlet of her suppressed fashion يعني ما فيش مخرج للمشاعر المكبوتة بتاعتها which causes her frustration ده بيسبب لها إحباط and anxiety نوع من الألم أو التوتر. This is the feminist interpretation together with the psychological interpretation. Of course, Bertha is the victim of Edward Rochester, who imprisons her in the third story so that she suffers from extreme suppression. So according to the same feminist interpretation within this story, Bertha's insanity or madness or irrationality could serve as a warning to Jane of what will become of her as a result of her complete surrender or her complete passivity or submission to Rochester. Of course, during their love relationship and after their marriage. Further, some feminist critics believe that Bertha Mason is the external manifestation of Jane's internal fire or anger. What does this mean? Both Bertha and Jane share some common characteristics. Both suffer from suppression and oppression from those around them. Both have suppressed anger, while Jane tries all the time to control this anger and to suppress her feelings of anger inside her, yet we find that Bertha expresses outwardly this anger, which is manifested or shown or illustrated by her madness. And her loud laughter, her stabbing, her biting, so that both Bertha and Jane are two faces of the same coin. But Bertha is the external manifestation, while Jane is or symbolizes the inner anger. Thanks for watching and goodbye.